today, and it seems like Zelenskyy is budging from his hard stance. On Saturday, Zelenskyy proposed to meet Putin with the condition that Israel mediates the talks. Zelenskyy asked Israeli Prime Minister to act as an intermediary. This comes on the back of German Chancellor and French President Macron dialing Putin, urging Russian President to agree on an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine. Meanwhile, Russia has escalated its offensive on Kyiv. Ukraine's defense ministry claims that Russians shot at women and children who were trying to evacuate along a green corridor in Kyiv, killing 7 people. One child is also dead. Ukrainian president said Russia was sending in new troops after Ukrainian forces had put 31 of its battalion tactical groups out of action. Putin had approved bringing volunteer fighters from Syria and other countries to join Russian offensive. On Sunday, Ukraine claimed to shoot down 2 Russian choppers in Kherson.
Російські окупанти не можуть нас підкорити. У них немає такої сили, немає такого духу. Вони тримаються тільки на насильстві і тільки на терорі, тільки на зброї, якої у них багато. Але в окупантів немає жодної природньої основи для нормального життя, для того, щоб люди могли відчувати щастя і мріяти. Вони органічно не здатні робити життя нормальним. Всюди, куди прийшла Росія, на чужу землю, мрії неможливі. Щодо Києва, якщо будуть сотні тисяч людей чи десятки тисяч військових, яких зараз мобілізує Росія, і вони всі прийдуть з сотнями чи з тисячами танками, вони зайдуть в Київ. Ми це розуміємо. Якщо вони будуть робити коврове бомбардування і просто вирішать стерти історичну пам'ять всього цього регіону, історію Київської Русі, історію Європи, вони зайдуть в Київ. Якщо вони знищать всіх нас, вони зайдуть в Київ. І тому, якщо в цьому ціль, то тоді пускай заходять, але їм прийдеться жити на цій землі самим. Точно без нас. Друзів серед нас вони тут не знайдуть.
India today has been keeping you updated on all the action from Kyiv. Russian troops are now going all out to capture cities surrounding the capital. And my colleague Gaurav Sawant gets you this report from the suburbs.
Massive damage in Russian bombing in this residential area in the Kyiv region. This is Bela Serkov. This is about 70 kilometers from the heart of Kyiv. And just look around. These are residential homes that have been damaged in the shelling. Destruction here and multiple rockets, multiple rounds fired in this area, and many homes in this area have been destroyed. This was somebody's house. The entire frontage here has been destroyed. The study room there, the kitchen there, everything stands destroyed. And this is just one home. Let me also show you the destruction at another home here. And many homes, whether you look at the shrapnel in that house, whether you look at the destruction in this house, or you look at the damage in that house. And this entire locality has now been vacated. As you can see in images, soon after the bombing, people are rushing out of here. They're leaving this area because it's considered unsafe. Now, one set of rocket that comes and then that volley continues to come. And these are civilian areas that are being targeted. The soldiers say that there is no military installation in this area, and yet residential blocks continue to be targeted on the outskirts of Kyiv. With cameraman Pavan Kumar in Bela Serkov, Ukraine, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. Day 17 of the battle is coming alarmingly close to the capital Kyiv. But it's not as if the Russians are having a field day or an easy ride. They are being resisted at every step. In fact, several Russian tanks were destroyed in the Brovary area, where India Today's Shweta Singh, Geeta Mohan and I were reporting. Now, the Russians have actually been pushed back, according to a report filed by our colleague Rajesh Pawar. The Russian forces, they tried to advance, but the big defense, the massive defense and a counter-attack mounted by the Ukrainian forces forced the Russians to step back and reassess their strategy. And even as we speak, you can hear shelling at a distance. And this shows that even on day 17, this battle for the capture of Kyiv and for the defense of Kyiv is well and truly on.
The once vibrant capital city of Kyiv has now turned into a ghost town. The streets deserted with more roadblocks than cars. A few residents left are bracing for an imminent Russian attack.
Here you see behind me is an infantry combat vehicle, ICV, which is used to carry infantry troops into the battlefield. It has armored protection, so they are protected from small arms fire. But it has been destroyed, probably using an anti-tank missile, probably a Javelin missile. And this was probably 2 nights before that this has happened. This is a box of the captain. Captain here, this is trying to show, this is all the equipment they have recovered. They told I can take this away. This is the Russian army, the t-shirt, all the clothes here, equipment here is from the Russian army, which has been recovered from the tank. They have tore the tanks away, but this is all is left over behind here, behind us. There is a pile of disposable anti-tank rocket launchers, and a lot of them here which have been used, and they have been kind enough to allow us to film this. Beside this, we are not allowed to film anything. Liana, you are not afraid?
No.
No?
No.
No? Garage. And what weapon you are carrying?
I have pistol.
Can I show? Can I show here? It's a Makarov pistol she's carrying, and you were before this. What work were you doing? Работа. Что работала before this?
Полиция.
She was police, armed police.
Кинова.
She was in armed police before this, and now she's working along with the army to defend this checkpost, which is on the front lines between Russian army and the Ukrainian army. What you see behind me here are few concrete blocks placed on the road, but there are thousands, not thousands, maybe hundreds of tires here, which are placed on the road. Please show that side also. Hundreds of roads, hundreds of these tires placed everywhere. This is not a main blockade. This is a secondary blockade. And why so many tires here? This is important to know. These are here so that in case main blockade is breached there and Russian forces are advancing, they can be put to fire. And once they are put to fire, this road is denied to any convoy of Russian army coming towards Brovary and onwards to Kyiv. This is probably damaged by the machine gun fire. And there are many such cars on this track now here, very close to the front line to Russian and the Ukrainian troops. I'm a kilometer inside now from the last post held by the Ukrainian forces. This is a car which has again been hit by a shell, probably a tank shell here, because this area witnessed tank battles last night and night previous to that. A car and a school bus had been some kind of a shell, probably a tank shell. And look at these concrete blocks which are broken now. I think they have been hit, all three of them have been hit by one shell, probably a tank shell. I'm standing here in front of a military station which is totally closed and it has been abandoned now. This is just about 3 kilometers from where the Russian troops are face to face with the Ukrainian troops. Look, this is here, damaged car here. There show gunshots on the car there, if you see. So this military station has been abandoned now. Probably the forces here have moved up to the forefront there, which is 3 kilometers ahead, and are fighting, and they have abandoned it in anticipation that if the Russian forces come here, they do not find anything of value here. Right now, I'm standing in front of a factory which is hit by a missile just an hour back. You can see the burnt out railings on the top, and this whole factory has been totally damaged by a missile which fell here about an hour back. This factory is about 3 kilometers away from Brovary town on the outskirts, and just about 1 kilometer away from the front line between Russian and the Ukrainian troops. See, these fire tenders have reached here in this factory, which is totally on fire, which has been totally destroyed by a Russian missile. See the smoke cover, totally, the whole area is full of smoke now. Sun has been infiltrated. So much of smoke, whatever I can capture with this phone camera. If I can see, it is black smoke, a lot of now white smoke. The whole area has been damaged. And there in the background you see those flags flying, including a flag of Ukraine and European Union, which Russia wants Ukraine to stay away from. See, one missile has damaged both sides of the building. You see the burned out part, it is more this iron sheets of blue in color. Now it's all changed to white and black after the fire caused by the missile attack. The whole factory has been damaged. There is only debris everywhere and some black smoke emanating. This has been emanating for the last 1 hour now since the area was hit by the missile. Rajesh Pawar for India Today.
Some streets are blocked with train carriages, which are usually used for cargo. Now they are used as concrete blocks. Now the driving on the road turns into kind of going through a labyrinth of concrete blocks, trying to maneuver around the block posts. So here are the block posts. You can't uncover the location, but you can clearly see that these block posts are in the old town Kyiv, where they are usually not supposed to be. The billboards in Kyiv are used as signs to show the support for the volunteers and also to show some important messages. For example, NATO close the sky above Ukraine, or some support to fellow Ukrainians, like here. The sign says, keep up, it won't take long to fight them back. And also the signs showing the support for the volunteer fighters, because the 14th of March is the Volunteer Fighter Day here in Ukraine. On the sidewalks around the city you can see smashed cars. Some of them smashed against the concrete blocks in the road, because there are no lights in the streets at night and cars just do not notice these blocks. Also, the traffic lights have been switched off for a long time, so you could see only the yellow light kind of blinking, and the traffic lights were switched on just 3 or 4 days ago because of the numerous actually traffic accidents. Cars are driving really very fast and without traffic lights. Some of them are really getting into trouble and staying just on the sidewalks smashed, because nobody right now has the time to do repairing or to get these cars out of the way.
A dozen ballistic missiles launched from outside Iraq struck the country's northern Kurdish region capital Erbil. In fact, a number of missiles fell near the main building of Kurdistan 24 TV channel, causing heavy damage to the building. However, no employees or citizens were injured in the incident. A U.S. State Department spokesperson called it an outrageous attack, but said that no Americans were hurt and that there was no damage to U.S. government facilities in Erbil. The management of Kurdistan 24 said in a public statement the attack caused the channel to stop the broadcast for a few minutes. It's a wrap from me, Chaiti Narula, on this bulletin. For further news and updates, don't forget to log on to indiatoday.in or go ahead and download our app.